Hey, this is Moshe Rothschild, Global Israel Alliance, bringing you the summary of the news from Israel for the week ending Friday, August 30th. Special shout out to the Lowenberg family from the suburbs of Philadelphia who were just here visiting Israel. This week, several rockets were fired from Gaza. Luckily, 3 of them fell within Gaza and 1 fell on an empty field. The IDF, in response, bombed Hamas military positions. Egypt, in response, said that if Hamas continues to fire rockets into Israel, they will no longer be able to be a middleman or a negotiator between Israel and the Hamas. This week as well, 3 people, 2 men and a woman, were convicted in Iran of spying for Israel and given very lengthy prison sentences. Israel has not commented on that story. As far as the election update, this week, the Zehut party, led by Moshe Feiglin, made a deal with Bibi Netanyahu, the head of the Likud party. The Zehut party, in the last election, did not have enough votes to enter into the Knesset. They had about 2% of the electorate. You need 3.5% to enter the Knesset. So Netanyahu promised the Zehut leader Moshe Feiglin a seat on the government as a minister if the Zehut party would not run in the following election coming up September 17th. And the idea being that those votes that were cast for Zehut, which would have quote unquote gone to waste because they wouldn't have crossed the threshold to enter the Knesset, now those votes will go either to Likud or to Yamina, one of the right-wing parties, thereby strengthening the right wing in Israel, but we will see. This week, also some good news was announced. The Israel Innovation Authority, yes, we have an innovation authority, announced that in 2018 there were 19,000 tech jobs. This year, in 2019, in the first 5 months, there have been recorded 11,000 tech jobs. So we're on pace to outpace 2018. This is a very good sign for the Israeli economy, which is very much based on technology. This week, the IDF announced that it thwarted an attempted drone terror attack by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. The plan had been put in place now for quite some time, months already. The idea was to load all kinds of explosive devices on drones, and they would go on a kamikaze mission into Israel to destroy property, to kill people. And Israel had been monitoring this for the last few months, and Israel this week announced that they thwarted that. The U.S. Secretary of State Pompeo congratulated Israel and told them that he stands behind them with the United States with their right to defend themselves against Iranian aggression. Speaking at the G7 this week, Donald Trump said that he may release the long-awaited U.S. Middle East peace plan before the September 17th election here in Israel. Donald Trump reiterated that he has withheld tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars from the Palestinians because of their policy of pay to slay, meaning giving salaries and payments to those who have killed or terrorists attempting to kill Westerners, Israelis, and that money has been withheld. And Trump so reiterated that perhaps this incentive will bring the Palestinians to the peace table because they want to get that money back. There's been an economic boom in the Palestinian Authority in its territories. Hundreds of millions of dollars have come in as far as investment in infrastructure, et cetera, et cetera. Israel has allowed 130,000 construction workers and other workers to give them work permits to come into Israel. Tens of thousands of Israeli Arabs are shopping in Palestinian areas. And the idea is that when you have a booming Palestinian economy, the hope is that they'll have no motivation to make any trouble here. They have too much to lose, so we'll see. The U.S. State Department recently removed the term Palestinian Authority from its website. Now it's interesting. They also removed the term. This is maybe a year or two ago. Israel's Judea and Samaria is not referred to as the occupied territories, but rather the disputed territories. Here and everywhere in the world, terms mean a lot. So we're very grateful once again to the Trump administration for supporting Israel. We announced in last week's update, we told you about the horrible crime of the murder of Renas by Palestinian terrorists. We're happy to report that her killers were found and arrested this week. Of course, we know that the killers of Renas Schnurb, the 17-year-old Israeli girl who was murdered when her father and her brother and her were on a tiyul, on a trip, and a roadside explosive was detonated by a Palestinian terrorist, and she was killed. Her father and brother were injured. We know that the terrorists will receive money from the Palestinian Authority. Jason Greenblatt, the United States envoy for Middle East peace, representing Donald Trump, demanded that. This terrible act of terror be condemned by the Palestinian Authority. Until this moment, and it has not been condemned. And Jason Greenblatt said as follows: if they don't condemn it, donor countries should demand the Palestinian Authority answer for why their donor funds continue to be used to reward attacks. You go, Jason. That's exactly right. Now, let's end here with two feel-good stories. Magen David Adom, which is like our Red Cross, they completed the first ever first responder course in the Arab town of Taib. They had 20 participants who over the last 6 months studied to become emergency first responders. Amongst those 20, there were 7 women. So this is wonderful news. The second feel-good story is the president of Honduras will arrive this week in order to attend the opening of a trade mission to Israel. And why is this significant? Because this is the precursor for Honduras recognizing Israel's capital, Jerusalem, and moving its embassy to Jerusalem. So that's it for this week. This is Moshe Rothschild for the Global Israel Alliance. Have a wonderful weekend and a great Shabbat, and we'll see you next week.